put on my PowerPoint. It's very lovely to see so many familiar faces. Let me, oh wait, I have to share my screen as well. Yeah, sorry. Screen. Yes, can everyone see my screen? Great, yes, and I'll get started. So thank you, Tamsin. So basically today I wanted to tell something about the study that I run over last spring, summer and autumn, where many of you have participated, and I'm very excited to see all of you to tell you something about what we found. So I'm interested in action sequence planning, and many of the things in daily life that we do consist out of complicated action sequences. So even something simple, like making a sandwich, consists of stringing together several actions. This kind of might seem very trivial and easy for us adults, but of course young children still need to learn how to control and plan these kind of complicated action sequences. And earlier studies have shown that 5-year-olds are able to plan and execute these complicated action sequences because they can maintain the higher goal of the action sequence. However, 3- and 4-year-olds, so younger children, mostly beginning preschool, show difficulties and they often lose track of the overarching goal. For example, if they would be making a sandwich, they would lose track of the goal of making a tasty sandwich and instead eat cheese right away. In this study, we were trying to find the cognitive changes in this preschool period that enables us to kind of plan and control these complicated action sequences. And for that, we designed a very fun task. And we asked preschoolers between 3 and 5 years old to build a house for a Duplo man named Bob. This is, let me see, put on a pointer. This is Bob. And children would see an instruction movie of how to build the house. And the kind of idea was that this is a complicated action sequence with multiple action steps. And that consists out of kind of a main key goal on top, which is kind of building a house. But this kind of main goal also consists out of several sub-goals, such as building the blue wall here and building the yellow wall, which in turn consists out of several action steps that we all have to account for in our action planning. And what we were especially interested in were kind of 3 factors. So at first, we were interested to see whether children managed to keep track of the main goal. In this example made by Tamsin's daughters for me, we can see that this one is very well able to keep track of the main goal and this one as well. So it is a very lovely house, just as it should be, 2 walls and a roof. However, this side seems to be kind of the person losing track of the main goal and instead building a tower-like structure. Maybe it's a tree house, not sure, but it looks very pretty. It's not the main goal of the action sequence. So secondly, we're also interested in the ability to follow kind of the sub-goals. And then, so the idea was here that we use different colors for each sub-goal. So therefore we could measure the number of color switches in the construction to get an idea of the ability to follow sub-goals. So this one, for example, has a very nicely yellow sub-goal and then a blue sub-goal. However, the middle one seems to interchange kind of the action steps more. And then thirdly, kind of to tease children a little bit, to make it a bit more difficult, we also placed some distractor objects there to kind of distract them and see whether they are focused on executing their action sequence or whether they are more interested in playing with the other objects. To kind of get to our results, in addition, we also measured executive function. And executive functions are kind of processes that allow us to control our thoughts and actions, and examples are switching, updating, and inhibition measured here. So we also played some fun games to kind of measure these processes. So as kind of results, we were first for the 3 features that I just discussed. We were able to show that 5-year-olds were more successful at finishing building a house compared to 3-year-olds, and 4-year-olds were more at an intermediate level, and indicating that older children were better at keeping track of the main goal. This kind of indicates the strong development in preschool period, enabling you to kind of plan and control these complicated actions. For the sub-goals, we were able to show the ability to follow sub-goals was related to children's updating skills. And updating is kind of keeping track of incoming information and keeping track of what's relevant for the task you're doing at the moment and what's irrelevant. And lastly, so the ability to not be distracted, so not execute irrelevant actions to the main goal, was related to inhibition, which is kind of the ability to suppress automatic response. But this was not the only thing we were interested in the study. So in addition, we were also interested in the movement characteristics, which would provide us with information on how the children decide on which action comes next in a sequence. So here we can go to our magic gloves. So we very precisely measured the actions of the children using motion capture sensors on our magic gloves. And these small sensors reflect light, and then several cameras in the room can track the light and calculate the movements over time. In infancy and childhood, this is not a well-used technique, but it's often used in sports science and even Hollywood. For example, the last two Lord of the Rings films used this technique quite a bit. So you can actually track any movement, and I have a very fun movie about that. So there is this guy on YouTube who tracks fiddlers' movements. Let me get that. Yeah, so basically you can track any movement. There's much more on YouTube if you're interested in seeing more cool fiddlers playing. But here we're especially interested in the reaching movements where kind of children switch from one sub goal to another. And these are kind of key decision points. So before you've been executing the same actions within one sequence. So you've been using a yellow block, another yellow block, and a window and everything. So it's quite clear what you need to do next. Often they follow each other, very logical. However, you need to, if you finish this yellow wall, you need to switch to, again, planning what you need to do next. For example, you need to plan the actions for the blue sub. So we're especially interested at these kind of points and what would happen. So basically here is the same graph as before again. Let me put on a decent pointer. So in adults, these key decision points are often slowed down. And we see kind of the same in our little participants. Children that manage to keep track of the main goal and follow the sub goals, longer pause at the kind of these decision points before again reaching and building. This kind of indicates that they're planning the next sub goal, the next actions for the next sub goal. What we also saw was that there was more movement with the unused hand at these decision points. So for example, if you're reaching with your right hand and you're building with your right hand, your left hand suddenly moves quite a bit more at these decision points. And we think this could be because children freeze their hand during the sub goal and they're focused because they're concentrating on executing one sub goal, and at kind of these decision points, they unfreeze a bit and relax their hand, resulting in more movement. So this is quite short, the results of the study, and we were able to kind of name some key features in action sequence planning, both behavioral and in our motion capture. And we were able to link these to cognitive changes in the preschool period. So in the next study, we're interested to see what brain areas are activated in this kind of action sequence planning, and especially at these key decision points. And hopefully, if everything goes well, we'll be able to investigate this quite soon in our new toddler lab. And in addition, what we've been doing quite past months, we've been trying to extend this to toddlers and trying to see how much toddlers can follow multiple goals in their planning with an easier task. And we hope to test more toddlers and young preschoolers once the lab reopens. I want to provide a very big thanks for all the families that have participated in the study. And I want to thank you all for listening. Are there any questions?
Lisanne, can we see your face again?
Yes, I will stop the sharing. Better?
Does anyone have any questions?
Hello. I might have a question. It's kind of similar to the one that I asked last time, but have you seen any difference in gender? So males and females using planning in a different way, or just was that the age was that discrepancy?
So at the moment, we have not looked at gender. So we did 3 groups. So we did 3, 4, and 5-year-olds, but we have not specifically looked at whether females or males would do differently. We also didn't really have any specific hypothesis about it. And I think maybe it's interesting, but it's also because I think the difference between the 3 and the 5-year-olds is so wide. Maybe the gender difference is actually quite small, but it would be something to take a look at, especially in further studies. Thanks.
Lisanne, I think some of the children have built some houses.
Yeah, I know. It's really amazing. So much Duplo here.
Does anyone want to ask anything else? Or given all the children in the Duplo, we could play a fun Lego Duplo song. So, unless there's questions? No? Okay, let's play the song and then we can talk a bit more. So let me share the screen now. Oops, sorry. Hang on, why is this not working? Okay.
Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. And eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. And eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. And eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. Head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes. And eyes and ears and mouth and nose. Head, shoulders, head, shoulders, head, shoulders, knees and toes, knees and toes.
Okay, I hope you enjoyed that. There's actually a bizarre number of Lego Duplo songs on YouTube, so feel free to have a look to amuse the little ones later. I think that's all we have to share from our end, but as we've got Ellie here, Ellie, I was hoping that you could just give a little plug for your online study, just to remind people about it. That would be great. Do I have to unmute you or can you do it?
No,
yeah.
I'm good, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, hi. So I'll just keep it short. But as Tamsin mentioned, I have an online study, which is all online, kind of currently ready to go. So we just need some participants. So I've been developing an app for parents to use with their children. So it's currently for children under the age of 1. So if you have little ones, it basically contains lots of easy and simple activities, which are based on the standardized behavioral assessments that we use in the lab. So kind of little activities like show your baby a bullseye shape, kind of move it side to side, see if they track it with their eyes, or something like put baby down, kind of walk behind them, call baby's name, what do they do, sort of thing. And then the app will suggest an activity and give you time to do that, give you instructions and stuff to do that. And then it asks you a couple of questions about whether your baby enjoyed it and kind of how they responded. So did they do the act? Could they follow the bullseye? Did they try but not quite yet? Or is that something that they're not yet that kind of trying to do yet? And I should say at this point that it has a huge range. In future, we hope to kind of individualize it more, so it'll only suggest activities that are about the right range for your child. But at the minute, there's a huge range, so don't worry if it's something that seems really an activity that seems super easy or really hard, kind of far too advanced for their age and stage. But at the minute, we just need to gather a lot of data about how the kind of activities relate to each other. So if a child already doing one task, which are the tasks are they also already likely to be doing, and which ones are they just developing, that kind of thing. So yeah, so there's it's kind of available, ready to go. There's a website which is on our Babylab. There's a link on our Babylab website. It's also on social media channels, and I can send the link on this chat in a minute. So you can feel free to visit the website, have a read about it, and if you want to take part, you can sign up and access the app there. So yeah, so if you have little ones, please feel free to check it out or share it with friends or people you know who do. But that would be great. Thank you.
Thanks, Ellie. So again, that on our Babylab website, there is a link to online studies, and her page is listed there. And hopefully any day now we'll have another study. So Ellie's one is for up to 12-month-olds, but we're having another one that's really exciting that goes up to 6-year-olds. And I'm hoping Claire, who I think is here, will talk to us about that next week. So again, please keep checking our website because we're doing everything possible to keep moving stuff online. And thank you to all of you for listening today. I hope you enjoyed hearing about the study that your little ones participated in. And thank you to Lisanne again for speaking to us. And hopefully see you again same time next week. Okay, thanks so much, everyone. Bye.
Thanks.
Bye. Bye.